Tesla is unstoppable to the downside. Hey there, Tamir from Fibonacci-Traders.com, your daily market recap. So like, subscribe, let's see the charts. So let's see what SPY and friends brought us in the past trading day. SPY closed the day with 0.9% to the upside, holding the 494 area. We are still below the yellow zone. We are still bearish on all time frames. This is how it looks on the 65 minutes. We opened the day with a gap to the upside. Then on the second hour, the second candle of the 65 minutes, we closed the gap and then moved upside, but we closed the day inside the yellow zone of the 65 minutes. We have this trend line on the 65 minutes. And as we always say, one candle does not change the overall sentiment. As you can see, broke to the upside, retesting the trend line. Now let's see continuation above the 500 towards 501, 503. QQQ, 1% to the upside, but overall, inside day, inside candle. Once you see an inside candle and a doji, it's a no trading day. Now let's see the 413 area, this gap that got filled last Friday. Now holding a support. Below it we will see 403.70. Can we get continuation? Can we get some kind of a bounce relief? Not even continuation. Bounce relief above the 420.30. Back to the 426. Retesting the yellow zone as resistance. Dow Jones 0.7% to the upside. Mixed signal, bullish on the 65 and the 4 hours. On the daily and the weekly, it's still under bearish signal. Look at this doji, high of the day, yellow zone. As we always say, the yellow zone is the most important area of the price action according to the FTI. Now 380.80 is the support. Below it, back to the 376. Let's see, can Dow Jones break inside the yellow zone, and then we will hit 387 and 390 to the upside. IWM 1.12% to the upside. This trend line, this blue trend line, acts, still proves itself as support, but it's support for the lower lows. Now let's see, can we get bounce continuation above the 196 towards the 200, the lower border of the yellow zone, from resistance, support. Now above the 180, 196, it will become once again resistance. Bitcoin back inside the daily yellow zone, and at the time I'm recording this video, nothing much. This day just opened. Let's see, can we get continuation above, breaking above the upper border of the yellow zone, the 67,800 area, and then we will see 69 and 72 breaking below the yellow zone, below the 64,600. We will retest this blue trend line. This blue trend line helps us identify the higher lows since beginning of 2024. Ethereum, as we can see, struggles with the yellow zone, barely inside the yellow zone. We are still bearish on the daily, bearish on the weekly, inside this downtrend channel since middle of March. Lower highs, lower lows. Ethereum overall looks pretty weak. XLE with 0.65% to the upside, back inside the yellow zone, but we are still bearish on the daily. The FTI, one click away, gives you everything that you need on your chart. Support, resistance to the future, multi-time frames, buy, sell signals, green line, red line to manage your stop loss. This bearish on the daily will become bullish once we will be able to close above the 96.40. XBI continues its way, breaking down since beginning of March. Almost 19% to the downside. Now 81.30 needs to hold. Below it 77 and 72. SOXX semiconductors ETF with an inside candle holding the 197. Look left. This 197 area was support during January and February. Now retested as support, breaking below, and you have a gap over here at the 193 area and another gap over here at the 187, breaking below the 197. These two gaps most likely will get filled, and we are still bearish on all time frames on the SOXX. Magnificent 7 trying to hold, recover from past few days with almost 1% to the upside, but overall doji 3630 is holding a support. It was support over here during February, now holding once again support, breaking below it 35, and then this gap over here at the 3470 will get filled after this downtrend since middle of April, since April 11. After this downtrend, 10% in just few days, now a doji might signal us some kind of a relief bounce back to the 3788 that will become once again from support to resistance. KRE also slowly grinding its way to the upside towards this blue trend line. This blue trend line helps us to identify lower highs since beginning of 2024. Let's see continuation on the KRE. Overall KRE, we got ourselves the bullish signal on all time frames from the FTI. Let's see continuation. This blue trend line together with the 4950 area will become the next major resistance. Like, subscribe, don't go anywhere. We have a lot more to talk about. Apple with a doji 0.5% to the upside, closed Friday's gap. Now the 164 is still holding. Let's see, can Apple break above this falling wedge? Amazon 1.5% to the upside, but overall doji inside candle, very tight price action. Let's zoom into the 65 minutes. This is how Amazon looks on the 65 minutes. Same as the SPY, same as the Qs. Went gap up, and then in the second hour filled the gap and then just crawled inside the yellow zone. This is why we got ourselves this super tight price action on the daily. Let's see, after this downtrend, can Amazon bounce back inside the yellow zone above the 179.80. Nvidia gave us 4.3% to the upside today, but if you clean the chart, what do you see? Still in a downtrend since March 25th. This day closed with a doji inside candle. Always zoom in, zoom out to get a better point of view of price action. Now you can add the FTI in your chart, and you will see that the FTI gives you all you need for support, resistance. We can get some long above the 800 towards the 836 area, but overall the 760 area is a very important area of support. Below it, the 738 gap and the 686 gap will get filled, and you have this small table over here that gives you multi-time frames bearish on all time frames. AMD 1.4% to the upside, but once again, clean the chart, you will see a doji inside candle, not much of a price action over here, and trend lines are your best friend. Follow the trend. This is why we have trend lines. Do not argue with the trend, do not argue with price, because at the end of the day you will lose. AMD is still in a downtrend, very steep downtrend. For now, no long on AMD. Close the gap over here from January. Next gap to the downside in AMD is, I cannot find it, so no more gaps to the downside. Maybe now AMD will start some kind of a recovery, but overall, for now, in my opinion, no long on AMD. Tesla continues to break to the downside each and every day. Doji after doji after doji, but bears are in control, are in full control. Tuesday, tomorrow, after the close, we have earnings Let me know in the comments below. What do you think? How? Tesla, look at this. Tesla broke below the yellow, below the downtrend yellow, below the blue downtrend line. Nothing bullish on this one. You can also clean the chart. Put the FTI and look at this. Where price, the low of the day, FTI give you support. Below it, 126. Bad reaction for Tesla's earnings, and we will see sub 100 on Tesla. Let me know in the comments below. What do you think? Where Tesla is heading post earnings? Sub 100 or back to the 180 area? Google 1.4% to the upside. Overall, Google looking pretty good, pretty bullish. Look at here. We are bullish except the daily. Why? Because the FTI sees some kind of a struggle with the yellow zone, with the 156, 155 area. And don't forget also Google, Thursday after the closing bell, we have earnings. So stay tuned. We are into a very volatile week. Meta, nothing much on Meta. Basic closed on the 0.14. Meta Wednesday after the gap, after the closing bell, bearish except on the weekly because we are still with higher highs and higher lows. Micro strategy struggling and with almost 13% to the upside, but as we always say, one candle does not change the overall sentiment. Yes, we got ourselves almost 13% on the day today, but we are still inside this downtrend channel, bearish on the daily, bearish on the weekly. This is why you need the FTI in your chart. With one click away, this amazing tool helps you fight the FOMO. No FOMO. Still bearish on the daily and bearish on the weekly. The most significant time frames for swing traders. We are still below the sell signal. We are still below the yellow zone, the red line, and below the yellow zone. So patience. Let's see continuation. We can start taking long position above Monday's highs towards the 1460 and 1566. SMCI 0.5% to the downside, nothing much. Doji bearish on all time frames, and as you can see, below the 671 we will meet 552 and back to the 400. Netflix with a doji after Friday's crash. Today, Monday, gave us a doji, nothing much on price action, holding the 540 area. As you can see, the 550, 540 area holding a support. It's always in areas of support and resistance. This is why the yellow zone is an area of support and resistance. Breaking down and under, below Monday's lows, we will close this gap at the 500. Overall bearish on all time frames. Shopify with 1.4%, 1.3% to the upside. Look at this, nothing much on since last week. 5 consecutive dojis. Shopify trying to gain back some bullish momentum, but overall Shopify is under bearish sentiment, bearish pressure, daily bearish, weekly bearish. Nothing much on Shopify. Don't go away. Lululemon. Look at Lululemon. In the past 4-5 trading days, almost 11% to the upside. Where was the high of the day? Yellow zone. Now all we want to do is break up inside, and I want to see a closing day above the 364 inside this yellow zone, and then we will start taking long position, slowly, maybe 25-30% of the original size, slowly building long position on Lululemon, and who knows, 85% chance that the 470 gap will get filled. And when I say we, I mean the Fibonacci-Traders Discord, the only Discord out there that will help you make money. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, like, subscribe, don't forget to hit the notification bell. 8:29 Eastern Time, live pre-market preparations. Until then, stay safe.